Hello and a very warm welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I want to talk about the real estate market in North Macedonia. I will give you 10 reasons why I think potentially this could be a good market. Then I will give you the disadvantages and a conclusion at the end. Now I know for you this will probably be very uncharted territory and some of you may not have even heard of this country. But anyway, let's give you 10 reasons why this could be potentially a good new market in terms of real estate. Number one is the low taxation. Now in North Macedonia, income tax, capital gains tax, rental income tax and corporate tax is only 10%. Now I'm sure you'll agree with me, that is very, very low. Number two is the ease of doing business. Now, if you look at the charts over the last 6 years, North Macedonia has been in the top 20 of countries of doing ease of business. Now, I'm sure you'll agree, that's pretty good going. Number three is the low government debt, total government debt to GDP. Now, as of 2020, this had risen to 50%, mainly because of the problems of COVID-19. But even at 50%, it's pretty good when you compare it to countries like the UK, the US, and countries in the EU. Nevertheless, I have to say back in 2010, it was actually only 24%. And as of 2018, it had risen to 40%. So in some ways, it is going the wrong way, but it is still quite low. Number four, and this I think is probably the most important point, is the improved political situation, both internally and externally. Now, after many years of political crisis, things have improved remarkably, and thanks in no less to Prime Minister Zoran Zaev. So, since 2017, a friendship agreement has been signed with Bulgaria. A lot more has been done to ease tensions between ethnic Albanians and ethnic Macedonians in the country. And also the country's dispute with Greece is now finally over. North Macedonia was previously known as Macedonia, but it did clash with the Macedonia area in Greece. But this has finally been resolved. And because of it, this year, in March this year, North Macedonia actually joined NATO and could be on the road to EU membership as well. Now that's good because that is starting to encourage a lot more foreign investment. Number five, I think potentially this could be a good time to buy in North Macedonia. Namely because if you look at the prices, they're quite low. So in the center of Skopje, you will pay about $1,300 to $1,400 per square meter. And in the outside the center, so 5-10 minutes from the city center, which many consider actually more attractive, you'll only pay about $900 to $1,000 per square meter. What I also want to add is that prices have remained low since the global financial crash of 2008. So potentially, staying so low, this might just be the right time to move in. Number six, it's a new market. So I'm sure a lot of you, I'd love to know how many of you have actually heard of North Macedonia. But it's a new market and it's very, very local driven. So you could be one of the first foreign buyers to move in before other foreign buyers come in. And that potentially will get you a lot of growth. Number seven is the low buy-sell cost. So typically you'll pay between 4.3 to 7.6% buy-sell cost. This includes sale tax, estate agent fees, and other legal fees. Do bear in mind though, for new buildings, you may have to pay an extra 5% VAT. And just absolutely make sure you hire a good local accountant to check this out, because as I understand it, this 5% VAT is imposed on first turnover within 5 years of construction of residential building and apartments. And this is due to stay until 2023, when it reverts back to the standard rate of 18%. So it's worth checking that out if you want to buy a new apartment. Number 8 are the low annual taxes. They're extremely low. So you're looking at between 0.1 and 0.2% a year. I'm sure you'll agree that is incredibly low. Especially, I don't know if you've just seen my video on Japan. Japan is actually 1.7% a year. So I'm sure you'll agree, these fees are quite low. Number 9 is that the good thing here is that it's a pro-landlord country. So you've got rents which are freely negotiable, and it is a lot easier to evict a tenant for non-payment compared to other countries. Number 10, the Macedonian dinar has been very, very steady against the US dollar for a number of years. So there is very little currency risk. So there are 10 good reasons to invest. I also want to just point out as well that North Macedonia does offer a citizenship by investment program. So by investing at least 400,000 euros into a local business, you can get citizenship. And there's actually talk of that coming down to $200,000. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but if it does come down to $200,000, that will make it quite attractive, especially considering that North Macedonia may at some point in the next few years join the European Union. I believe it also has visa-free travel to well over 100 countries, including the EU. That said, there are issues with North Macedonia, and I'm going to give you 5 or 6. So, number 1 are the yields, and particularly in Skopje. Now, they're not bad. They're not bad yields, but considering it's a fairly new market, I would have hoped for better yields. But you're looking at around 4%, which again, you might get 5%, but they're good, but they're not amazing. Number 2, North Macedonia is not really a rich country, so it still needs to develop quite a bit in terms of wealth. And you're looking at GDP per capita of only around $6,000 per year. So I'm sure you'll agree with me, that's not great. And although the GDP, so the growth has been expanding over the last few years, it's not been at an impressive rate when you compare it to EU countries like Hungary or Poland. Number 3, which I think is quite a big one, now the birth rate, and I was quite actually surprised, the birth rate in North Macedonia is actually now below 1.5 per couple. And if you consider a lot of people in North Macedonia have emigrated to other countries, a lot of people, although the official population is 2 million, a lot of people believe the reality is the population is only about 1.5 million, because most people in North Macedonia, when they leave the country, they don't bother to tell the authorities that they've actually left the country. So it's the actual population is a lot lower, and this makes the population density lower, and that's not great for the real estate market. Now, number 4, again, I was saying the population density would be low, but the population density of North Macedonia is not that high anyway, and there's actually plenty of land to build on. So if you take Skopje, it's actually quite, considering it only has 600,000 people, it's actually quite a big city with big roads and scope for building more blocks of flats. So that may dampen future price growth in the real estate market. And number 5 is the limited scope for tourism. Now, I've actually been to Skopje. It's not a bad place. It's a lot better than Podgorica, for example, in Montenegro, but it's not a place where I think many tourists are going to come in the future. So this may curtail a lot of future investment from foreign buyers. And even the second city, Bitola, is actually only has about, I think, 70,000 people. It's not a bad place, but it's actually a place where you would not really stay for more than 1 or 2 days. Now, where I think actually you could make some money is Ohrid. Now, I went to Ohrid 3 years ago, having hardly heard of the place. It was recommended by a friend of mine, and I was absolutely amazed at how beautiful it is. The lake is absolutely amazing. There's so many churches, and it's such a quaint place to go and visit. And I was surprised how few tourists there were. Now, in my 4 days I think I spent there, I did not see one American tourist, one British tourist, or one Italian tourist. Now, once this gets out, and I think it is starting to get out, I think a lot of tourists will go to Ohrid, and this may help the property market rise in that particular part of North Macedonia. So potentially you could do an Airbnb. So should you buy? It's a difficult one because it's a new market. There are a lot of advantages. I believe if you do go for it, you should potentially, I normally go for the capitals or the major cities, but I think in the case of North Macedonia, it's similar to the video I made on Montenegro, where you don't buy in the capital, but you buy in like a more tourist hotspot. So I would go for Ohrid. Please also remember that although unemployment has been coming down, it is still, I think, around 15 to 16%. So that may also curtail local buying, in particular in places like Skopje or Bitola. So I would actually go for Ohrid if you do decide to buy in North Macedonia. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Have you ever considered buying in North Macedonia? Do you actually know that the country exists? I'd love to know if any of you hadn't heard of North Macedonia, particularly those who are not in Europe. Anyway, it's been great having you again. Please, if you do like my videos, click the subscribe button. Please do click the like button, and I'll see you very soon on the next video. Thank you and goodbye.